Hello friends and dreamers, and happy Halloween! Today I'm going to show you my unique view of Universal Orlando's Unmasking the Horror Tour through my favorite vintage lens from the 1970s. You will also see some iPhone footage, but I'm sure you can tell the difference. I'm going to leave the original audio so you can hear a little bit of what our fantastic tour guide Brittany said. Enjoy!
The house was OP, so they came up with the storyline for it, they came up with the characters, and it really showcases how sick and twisted our team is. We missed it on a lot throughout the day. We're all a bit sick and twisted too, because we're not looking for it. But this is Constance up here. She is the leader of essentially this cult. So this is going to be a cult-like house. So they're all believing in the same, belief system. They all believe that the moon farming is what's actually going to save them. They believe that this blood sacrifice is now called for. So, we do also have actor-activated triggers here. You'll hear me talk about these a lot today. This is a cool one I can kick out and show you. And they are playing the maypole game, which essentially means they're just kind of supposed to run around. They're supposed to have ribbons, and the last person holding on to a ribbon wins. They've gotten creative. Coming from up here and the scare happening from down here. It's just not quite as authentic. So underneath both of the benches where there are scare actors in this room, they're cleverly hidden speakers. So it makes it even more effective because it sounds kind of a sad scare, honestly. Because again, this is a cult house. We've seen what they're doing to the people that they deem false-hearted. So their choices was either join this or have what happen. Now, as we head in this direction,
they come in right before the event starts and they throw all these rocks. Well, I don't know if I did this, they didn't want me to get in trouble, so we can go ahead and walk in there. We're having about
just kidding.
help her. She's going to Eddie for going to see Chrissy levitating towards the ceiling because that is how Vecna chooses to head into the train where we are going to be
Dr. Leonard Hammond, he's not the nicest guy. He tries to pretend he's a nice guy. He's not the nicest guy. He's doing not very nice things to these children, subjecting them to some pretty messed up things. However, the people who work on this show do not subject the children to crazy things like this. So while these child stars were quite young when the show started, they did actually have Millie Bobby Brown shave her head for this role in season 1. So they showed her a lot of really cool images of stars who had shaved heads, most specifically like from the Mad Max franchise. They were like, look at all these really awesome women who have badass roles and they look amazing even with a shaved head, right? Convinced her to do it. It's obviously worked out great. Kate Bush was giving up that hair and that was it from Max. So the people actually right here, that was your period as her mirror reporter, just like she is. We have more, she's just a natural skin, just as you a natural skin. And Vecna, of course, smacking the easy season one more time out around here. He is using a couple of times. And you have this awesome stuff around. You can see Vecna's covered too. So that's one reason we didn't take pictures in here, but not in another scene in the next couple of weeks. That one's going to have a little clear center on it, really sort of differently. So you're going to break down a lot of this room, the openings in the camera on that scene. So you're going to fall to kind of so that you're going to have some more red legs. So we have a lot of red legs, farm trees, and I guess we need to and then this here. The entire series. So Lucas is attempting to save Max. However, Max is trying to distract Vecna in this form so the bigger kids can get him in another form. Lucas is passing notes back and forth with Max because they have been on again, off again, boyfriend and girlfriend, because Max has been going through trauma and shutting everyone out. Merlin, after he's lusting over her just a little bit, but he had a bit of an idea that that was going to happen. We'll move off to one side here. I guess we'll let them through. We'll be nice this time. As we walk in this direction, we have two warlocks
Now, as a haunted house this year.
Cool.
Now, what's really cool about this is the very first time that we have done a haunted house based off of dragons and based off.
There's the red flag. Yeah.
She's very unhappy. She's got some cool airbrush makeup next to her as well, so I get to see her getting ready after that makeup test that we cast earlier. They're really nice. Airbrushing away. The warlocks are not just actors. That's not what they're looking for. So, it doesn't matter if the trees are a little banged up or anything, we'll take them here. We usually will destroy them partially anyway. So, we have trees from the Grinchmas show, over in Stranger Things we have trees from The Day in the Park with Barney. If anybody's familiar with that attraction, it's basically, basically The Day in the Park with Barney now.
I like it.
Yeah, similar thing. He would just pop out of the middle of the stage, just like Barney. That's childhood trauma for you.
Literally.
Now, has anybody here been? If they need it, right? Essentially. So we do have the scarecrow on the left and the right in here. You can't really escape them. Christmas light wires here. And some of the insulation foam that's been broken off. This is where the scarecrow comes out of, so it's likely he just elbowed it or something. What do you want to talk about? Is it a year? Pretty much as soon as it opens now, opening weekend hits through, our team's like, okay, what's next? There are already multiple houses in on designs, storylines. They're already working on them so heavily, it's insane. That's awesome. This year, last year, some of the last people leaving could actively see them going into Fiesta Chupacabras and pulling props out. It is like clockwork everywhere. Yeah, it is literally become a year-round event. So our team is really amazing. They have very few days to get in and get out with all the props. So they have something called a morgue, which is their giant book of basically where everything went. So with that giant warehouse, you don't want to go in and be like, where did I put that skull last year? I've got a 1 in 530 chance of finding it. So they actually put exactly where they're putting everything inside that. So with that specificity to it, kind of makes it easier to get lost in the area.
Oh, okay.
You had the dragon chasing one another, of course, fire and ice right there.
So we had some super fans and we said, hey, do you guys really want to come be a scarecrow for a night? Shave your head. And people did it. They shaved their head and showed up to be a character for the evening. That's how dedicated our fans are. Again, without them and the characters, this whole event would not be what it is. So we try to throw Shadow Creek out as frequently as we can. We also have Ranger Station number 32. Again, we want 32 thrown out as often as we can as well, since it is our 32nd year of the event. So, this is the third time you have seen our Yetis at Halloween Horror Nights. The first time was in a house called Slaughter Cinema. Second time was in Yeti Terror of the Yukon, and we also used Shadow Creek for Terror of the Yukon. And now we are in the 1950s in Shadow Creek State Park. So they have been in different... So, just a cute little utilization of this space to really set the tone that you're walking in through an active state park with ranger stations, business offices, and all that stuff. And then this little itty bitty hallway we're sending you through as you're exiting, there is a Yeti inside of the hall. So remember, this is all stuff our decor team would put up, everything that hangs up in the house, posters and stuff like this. There may be other ones else that we just don't want them to go here. So, a couple of cool things here that being shouted for by this Jerry. Let's talk about the dog, and I say made fun of, but it gets a little hostile sometimes. They're like, we know what you did to the dog in depths of fear. We're like, it was a stuffed animal, guys. Like, let's all take a deep breath here.
No animals are harmed in the production.
It's Bert's retirement party.
He's retired already.
He retired quickly. He said, I gotta get a head start on this. So, yeah, he's suffering a little bit. But Olive is supposed to be around too. Grandma, she's supposed to be somewhere. Yeah. Anybody who's been here at doesthedogdie.com.
Oh no.
Uh-huh. Viciously. On that projection, you are going to see a dog get grabbed by a Yeti. You're gonna. That's how they decided to use that. Yeah, like the stick of a pinata.
The stick.
As we're like highlighting, like this has to be a joke. Like I'm so getting punked. There's no way they're.
This was the point where the heavy walking part of the tour began because we did have to go through a lot of the park and a lot of backstage to get to the rest of the houses.
She did not want to go into that building all there. Chucky had different plans. So she was taking a relaxing bubble bath, and Chucky added the world's worst bath bomb. That's how she went. So she gets electrocuted, and she is super pissed when she wakes up inside of that building. Of relationships between the two of them, but they are still back and forth, and she's still kind of out for revenge on the fact that he's, I guess, right? Like technically. So he's using that to try to appeal to Jake and make. I hate laundry, my partner hates dishes. So Brittany, what's gonna happen?
Oopsie.
Can you imagine the look on my face when this happened when we were watching the TV show together? I'm a Virgo, I love to be right. So I was very excited. Buuuut that you're going to see, it's going to be a familiar mask and some sheet music. That's going to be the first time you see that detail. And he is going to highlight these now. We're still going to be dripping water on you to make you feel disgusting. On your left, we have some barrels here that have little lights in the end of them that glow orangey red. We get moving. So he doesn't want you in here for long. He just wants you, which is photos up. You can head around the corner. Once you get past the chair, the French poster. It does not have to make any sense, and we have fun here. That's exactly what that poster says at night, but they do know that we're in here during the day. So again, having a little bit of fun while not harming the. And on your left is going to be a bit of a more unconventional scare actor, because it's a mother pushing a baby carriage and screaming about her child. Because obviously there's a lot going on, a lot to be concerned about for your child. And the baby is also screaming at the top of his lungs, which is only scarier if it was you inside of the airplane. So, quite an unconventional scare for you there. Now we do have the happy cricket in front of us. Again, a wolfman. In the original novel for Jekyll and Hyde, which if you're a big fan and didn't know it existed, it's like 80 pages, so it's really not even bad. Quick read. You have the red safety bar up there again to the right that I talked about with Constance and Blood Moon. And then especially if you're standing closer to where I am, you can see a truss system back there, set up with things here, and then we unhook him from that first one. So he was hooked up at all times. He's always safe. Which is important because he is going to plank sear you. It means exactly what it sounds like.
Not what happens in the book.
We have a monster over there, and another over there. They kind of jump around. I don't know if that's like something the cast just likes to do or if it's something.
Might already be one. And that's a wrap. At this point we are heading back to where the tour began, backstage. So I took actually more pictures than video during the tour, I always try to do a bit of both, so it was impossible for me to catch all of the audio for you guys. But if you want a longer video with some of the photos I took, as well as some detailed explanations of the secrets that were shared with us, let me know in the comments.
No.
Alright, we're going backstage again. Camera's gotta go back away.
To the secret zone.